Coach, why don't you just talk about the upcoming season for Loper cross country?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited about the year for sure. On the women's side, I think we're going to be pretty young. We had one senior last year, just a couple of seniors this year, but as you look at our number one runner and team captain, Morgan Benish is a junior, and we have a number of freshmen who will probably contribute. A year ago, some of our incoming freshmen dealt with some injury and other health issues that kept them from competing, so they're going to be redshirt freshmen this year. And then with the 4 freshmen that we're bringing in, I think a lot of what's going to be going on for the women is it's going to be a young crew. But you know, with Morgan on the team, and even with others who have done well in track, people like Shelby Slope or Molly Dibben or Melissa Davison, you have people that have experience at the conference level, just not necessarily in cross country. So a young team, but I think one that has the potential to do pretty well. I would expect or hope that we'll be able to do a little bit better than we did last year. On the men's side, really we just lost Ryan Hill from that crew, but he was our number one runner. And you know, after that last year, we had a very good season. We're conference runner-ups, missed the national meet by 1 place, but it was done with a group effort. So hopefully from that crew, there's a couple people that step out, and I like the group effort. I like the pack that we were running in last year, but it'd also be great if we had 1 or 2 superstars with that. So we'll see what kind of work people got done in the summer to see if that happens.
Talk about the schedule for the Lopers this year. This is a little bit different meets that we're running in than in previous years. Right,
we're starting just a little bit earlier with our first meet. In the past, we've kind of waited and started maybe a week or 2 later than other schools, but we are going to start with an earlier one, going to one at Northwest Missouri. It'll be an 8K for the men, 5K for the women. So right away, early in the season, running one that's full race distance, where a lot of times we've run short of a short course race to begin the season. So we'll do that at Northwest on a we are going to go down to the Southern Stampede at Missouri Southern. You know, they're hosting the regional meet this year. They're hosting the national meet this year. And when we were there a few years ago for the regional meet, I just walked away from that meet feeling like, okay, next time around, because periodically it seems like they end up hosting regionals and nationals. So the next time we're in a position where that's going to be the big meet at the end of the year, I think that's a course that I want people to see. So if I look back at that, I think we've only got you know, 1 person, maybe 2 or 3 who will be competing at that meet, who competed at the regional meet here 3 or 4 years ago. So most of them haven't seen that course before, and just the middle section of it is such that it's something that I want them to see ahead of time. You know, beyond that, we're going to go back to the Rimrock meet, conference meet at Fort Hays, which is a great course, and the regional meet.
Talk about finally how the cross-country year looks in the region. It's going to be back in Joplin, as you mentioned, and the Nationals is going to be at Joplin. So, and last year the men did really well. The women could do also. How does the region look this year? Yeah,
last year the men had a really good season. You know, I'm sure our guys are fairly motivated because there was a lot of disappointment at the end of the year last year. We really felt like we should have been one of the teams that competed at the national meet, and it's our own fault that we didn't get there coming out of the regional meet. But as you look coming back, and again, a lot of that team's back, so you expect some success. But if you look across the MIAA last year, you know, Fort Hays had 2, you know, probably their best 2 guys redshirting, and in the meantime they've added a 3rd guy who's pretty darn good. You had Northwest Missouri having 2 really good runners who redshirted. I know Southwest Baptist had their top guy or 2 who were redshirting. So there are, last year was kind of an odd year where there were some teams redshirting their top guys. Well, those guys aren't redshirting now. So I would expect that across the board, the conference will be tougher. You know, Missouri Southern had a great team last year, graduated a lot of it, but they're a great program. So I expect them to be very strong. And Pitt State, I think, on the men's side, has the potential to be a very good team. So, you know, on the women's side, again, I was really pleased with how our women were performing at the end of the year last year, considering what they were missing. You know, graduating as many people as we did the year before, losing a couple people very early in the season. So we came into last year already short on depth, and literally we were a week or 2 into practice, and we were in a pretty tough spot. So for the gals that competed at the end of the year for us last year, they really did an awesome job. We were just shorthanded. So hopefully, from a depth standpoint, we're in a little bit better shape than we were last year. You just don't know because they're young, so you don't know how they're going to respond to things. But it's a group that I'm really excited about. And the nice thing is, the core of that group should be around for a few years. So this is just kind of a new beginning for them.